Hey guys, another video for the Buying a House in Japan playlist. Those of you who've been following the renovations of the old farmhouse would have noticed that we've been hauling out a lot of stuff that we don't want. So we had to do something about it. Those old tatamis were past saving and it's all pretty sad what's left here. So we got a unskilled labourer with a truck to come and move it. Fabulous. So the first load was going to the metal and plastic recycling place. So you might have seen on the environmental playlist the categories of garbage in Japan are extensive, so you've really got to break it down into a dozen different types, or I think it was 17 different types in our city. So first load was going to the scrap metal and plastic recycling place. So we got the biggest truck we could. We couldn't actually get the next size up because we measured, or we know how wide the street is, we know how wide the trucks are, so we knew we couldn't get a bigger one down the street, so that's the biggest we could get. So we filled that as much as we could and then headed off to the metal recycling place. So it is a bit of a hassle, guys, to be honest with you. You know, in Oz we used to just call up the rubbish people and they'd bring around a huge metal bin and stick it out the front of the house and we could just throw everything in it, whereas in Japan we've got to break it all down into all the different categories, which, I mean, we know we're helping the environment by doing that. We're minimising the damage that we're doing to the environment by breaking it down and then allowing them to recycle it in all different ways, but which is all very wonderful and moral and good, and we feel good about that, but it's a pain in the neck. So anyway, first step was this place, which was a pretty happening place, as you can see. So they start by weighing the truck, and then they just start removing stuff and note the difference in the weight. So they know, first of all, they took the iron stuff off, and then they took off the machinery stuff and the different categories. And each time they weigh the truck so that they know how much of each category they've taken off. And this place is actually a private business, and they actually pay us for the rubbish. So we had 600 or 500 and something kilo of stuff, and they gave us 6,500 yen, so almost $100, which is a bit of a score. A pretty happening place, as you can see. So you guys would have seen on the environmental playlist that Japanese are very careful with their recycling, so they try and minimise the damage that they're doing to the environment as much as possible. I never know how much of this sort of stuff to show you guys, whether just telling you we went to the recycling place is enough, but I know there's some people who want to see, so you can see what's happening. They take off one load and then we stick the truck back on the weigh bridge. That's a weigh bridge there, scale, so it's weighing the truck. So back on the scale again, weigh it again, and then take off the next category of stuff. Weigh it again. So it's a lot of mucking around, as you can see, but had a positive result. It feels better, at least you know when you take it to these places that they're recycling it. They're going to break it all down and use it all again, which is better than digging a hole and sticking it in a hole, I guess. So then back to the house and another load to go to the city recycling place, because these guys only take certain things and the other company only takes certain things. So we take some stuff to the private company and then we bring some other stuff to these guys. Quite a again, the weighbridge, so onto the weighbridge they weigh the truck. And then off you go into the complex, and the complex had 10 different bays for all the different stuff. So we stopped in this first building, unloaded different stuff into different areas, and then back in the truck, and then drove the rest of it to another building where we could unload another couple of categories of stuff. I just thought I'd mention too, guys, you would have seen that what looked like smoke coming out of that chimney. I'm sure it is smoke, but it's not as bad as it looks. It was about 2 degrees this day, and it was rainy. It was very moist. So mostly what you're looking at coming out of that chimney was steam. It's actually cleansed, so it's not as bad as it looks. So finally, this is the final category, and was actually nothing but a big blue bin, and this is for pottery and crockery. And this is the final category that we had left. That was heavy. So yeah, that bin was sort of interesting. There was all sorts of last year's pottery, last year's crockery for everybody. So threw that in. The only thing they wouldn't take was that bag of clothes hangers for some strange reason. And then we go back to the weigh station and they weigh the truck again on the way out, so they know how much stuff we dropped off. So there's actually another couple of categories of stuff that aren't covered by either of these two places, and we have to take them and put them in another location out on the street where everybody else puts their stuff. But we did 700 kilos this day, and as you can see, it looks like nothing's changed. So we've probably got another 700 kilo there, so I have to do all this again another day sometime soon. So anyway, hope you found that mildly interesting. We certainly did. Mildly interesting and hard work. Anyway, more videos coming soon.